Good day, dear students of the group FLD 17K. I am very glad to see you now in my today's new lesson. Сәлеметсіздер ме, құрметті ШТД 17К оқу тобының студенттері. Сіздерді бүгінгі сабағымда көргеніме қуаныштымын. Today is the 23rd of September. The day is fine. I hope that you are all fine. Good luck in today's lesson. Бүгінгі күн реті қыркүйек айының 23 жұлдызы. Барлықтарыңыз көңілдеріңіз ойдағыдай деп ойлаймын. Күндеріңіз сәтті өтсін. Now let's begin our lesson. In today's our new lesson, we'll talk about the modal verbs. The modal verbs are as follows: can, may, must, should, ought to, need, and their usage in sentences in present indefinite tense. Our today's objectives of the lesson are to understand sentences with the usage of the modal verbs can, may, must, should, ought to, and need. To widen their learners' awareness about the usage of the modal verbs can, may, must, should, ought to, need in a sentence, to produce or just make up sentences using the modal verbs. Now let's turn to the slide sheet. Modal verbs. Modal verbs. The first. You have to mention that keep in mind about the objectives of today's lesson planning. There is some advice. First one, identify main properties of modal verbs while watching a video and take notes. The second, practice using modals by choosing the correct modals in 10 sentences. The third one is distinguishing between the different uses of present simple by matching 4 verbs to their correct uses while reading a short text. Now let's watch video.
Modals. Modals or modal verbs are just one form of auxiliary verbs. There are 2 important things to remember in using modal verbs. Number 1, it doesn't change form. We don't add s to modals even though the subject is singular, and it doesn't have a past form. Example, can is always can, and must is always must. We never say cans or musts. The second one, they can't stand alone in a sentence, so it is always followed by the base form of the main verb. Remember, it is always without to. Example, he can finish his homework before midnight. In the sentence, can is the modal and finish is the main verb. If you notice, we use the base form finish. We don't say can to finish or can finishes.
Okay, now let's turn to the next task. Here I given practical tasks for you. You have to you have already watched the video, and you have to fill in the spaces using the modal verbs. I hope that you can solve this problem with any prohibition. So now let's turn to the next explanation of our today's new theme. Abilities. Возможность, мүмкіндік. Can, be able to. There are paraphrasing words. Equivalence. Yes? Ability in present note. But we can use when we decide now about something we'll do about the near future. Be able to. Ability. It can be used for different tenses such as past, future, or present. Was, were able to, am, is, are able to, will be able to. Could and used to able to shows the ability in the past, repeated past action. We can use was, were able to with no difference in the meaning. Prohibition. Mustn't, can't. Запрещенность, яғни жол берме. It is forbidden to do something. You are not allowed to do something, or it is against the rules law to do something. For example, you mustn't drive over 120 km/h. Absence of necessity. Needn't, don't have to. Don't need to plus present indefinite, present or future. It isn't necessary to do something. It can be used for different tenses such as past, future, and present. Probability. Should, ought to, shows, probably. I use it to express that something is likely to happen in the present or future. For example, it is 10 p.m. He should be at home. Possibility. Can plus infinitive. General possibility. This structure is used in affirmative sentences to show that something is possible, theoretical, or in general. That is, when we are not referring to a specific situation. Could, may, might plus infinitive. It is used to show that something is likely to happen in a specific situation. Logical assumptions. Must, yes, I'm sure, I'm certain that something is true. Must is used in affirmative sentences and expresses positive logical assumptions. Can't and couldn't, I'm sure that something isn't true, real, or etc. For example, it expresses negative logical assumptions. Let's see an example. It must have just taken off. Permission. When we want to ask permission from somebody or just to do something else, we can talk about different types of permission. Let's see them. Asking for permission. We can use the modal verbs can, could, might, may, and might. For example, do you mind if, would you mind if, could and may are more polite than can. Might is formal. May and might are used to ask for permission when we don't know the other person very well. For example, can I use your pen for a minute? Giving permission. When we want to give permission, yes, we want to allow something somebody to do something. Here we can use the modals can and may. Let's see an example. You are allowed to do something. You can. Can is informal. May is formal. We don't use could or might to give permission. Obligation and necessity. We use the modal verbs must, have to. Let's see in examples. Must, it is duty. You are obliged to do something. Have to, it is necessary to do something. You have to know that we can use must when the speaker decides that something is necessary. We use have to when somebody else other than the speaker has made the decision. Let's see examples. Should and ought to, less emphatic and that must. Should and ought to express the duty. Need is used to express necessity. It is necessary to do. You can practice more if you use these links, these resources. It will be useful for you to improve your grammar skills according to the usage of modal verbs. Let's turn to the next our task. Very useful practical tasks will be for you using the learning apps program from the internet. You can use in order to do some practical tasks. I have chosen such activities activity which will be useful and which will attract your attention using the modal verbs. Who wants to be a millionaire? I here are given a lot of questions concerning two modal verbs. Now let's try to do something, how to do some tasks. For example, blah blah blah. I come in. Here you can use, you have to choose the correct usage of modal verb. Should, can, may, must. Come in when we want to ask permission. Можно войти, кірсем бола ма? We use what kind of modal verb? Should, can, may, must. More polite one. Yes, exactly. It must be may. Yes, right one. The next. We speak English. Мы говорить по-китайски. Biz сөйлей аламыз қытайша. Which shows the ability. Мүмкіндік. Yes? What variant is correct here? Has to, must, cannot, could, or just the disability, just can't speak, cannot speak. Yes, exactly, it's correct. So here is a very, very useful resource learning apps. You can use a lot of exercises using such wonderful resource from the internet. Here are given all kinds of activities. Let's turn to our next slide sheet. So next, in order to get more information, you can you may look through more information about the from internet about modal verbs. Clicking such resources, links, you may widen your knowledge or awareness about the usage of modal verbs. In order to improve your visual skills, you can you may look through a video about modal verbs from YouTube channel, clicking such links. Okay, in today's our new lesson, I hope that all information was useful for you in order to improve your grammar skills while using the modal verbs. You can practice more by doing homework. You will be given 3 tasks to do at home. First one, to learn by heart the rules of using the modal verbs. The second one is practical tasks, to do practical tasks conducting the same modal verbs. The third one is to make up an interview between an employer and an unemployed candidate for working place in an office. And these are your home tasks. I was very glad to see you in my today's new lesson. Goodbye for now, and take care of yourself. Thanks for your attention. Bye bye.